The hidden truth about nuts after 60. What your doctor won't tell you. Hold on. Before you take another bite of those healthy nuts sitting in your pantry, you need to hear this shocking revelation. What I'm about to expose will completely change how you think about nutrition after 60, and it could be the difference between thriving in your golden years or slowly deteriorating without knowing why. The health industry has been feeding you a dangerous lie about nuts. While they've convinced you that all nuts are beneficial, the devastating truth is that some of the most popular varieties in your kitchen right now are silently sabotaging your health, destroying your energy, clouding your memory, and even compromising your intimate life. But here's what gets me fired up and why I had to make this video. Most seniors have no idea they're being deceived. They're faithfully eating what they believe are healthy snacks, completely unaware that these seemingly innocent foods are gradually stealing their vitality, one handful at a time. If this revelation has already opened your eyes, do me a favor right now. Smash that subscribe button and ring the notification bell. This channel is dedicated to exposing the health myths that are holding seniors back from living their best lives. And hey, drop a comment below with the number 1 if you're ready to learn the truth about which nuts are secretly harming you, or 0 if you think I'm wrong. I read every single comment and I want to know where you stand. My name is Dr. Marcus, and for over 3 decades, I've dedicated my medical practice to helping men and women over 60 reclaim their energy, sharpen their minds, and reignite their passion for life. Throughout these years, I've witnessed firsthand how the right nutritional choices can literally transform someone's health, while the wrong ones can slowly but surely destroy it from the inside out. Here's what most people don't realize. Your body undergoes profound changes after 60. Your metabolism shifts, your digestive system becomes more sensitive, your liver processes toxins differently, and your cardiovascular system requires different support than it did in your younger years. This means that foods you could easily tolerate in your 40s and 50s might now be working against you in ways you never imagined. What if I revealed to you that there are 4 specific nuts that can dramatically improve your blood sugar stability, enhance cognitive function, boost circulation, and even improve your sleep quality, yet hardly anyone over 60 incorporates them into their daily routine? Simultaneously, there are 4 other nuts that are heavily promoted as wholesome choices, but are actually endangering your cardiovascular health, triggering inflammatory responses throughout your body, and interfering with your medications in potentially dangerous ways. You deserve to understand this critical distinction. That's exactly what I'm going to reveal in this comprehensive breakdown. All 8 nuts, the 4 you should eliminate from your diet immediately, and the 4 you must include every single day for optimal health after 60. This isn't based on trendy health fads or marketing gimmicks. This is grounded in solid scientific research and specifically tailored for your post-60 physiology. And I'll reveal one particularly harmful nut at the end that has been linked to liver damage and memory deterioration. It might be sitting in your kitchen cabinet right now. These aren't just snacks, they're natural medicines for your heart, brain, energy levels, and yes, even your intimate health. Let's examine each one and understand why they become even more crucial around age 60. 1. Brazil nuts, your natural testosterone and thyroid activator. I'll never forget a particular patient, a retired firefighter named Robert, who came to see me in his late 60s. He was experiencing persistent fatigue, mental fog, and frustration over his declining enthusiasm and sluggish performance in all areas of life. Despite trying various diets, supplements, and treatments, nothing seemed to restore the vitality he once knew. When we ran comprehensive laboratory tests, the results weren't surprising to me. Robert had a severe selenium deficiency, a trace mineral that's absolutely essential for mood, cognitive function, and physical performance, yet most men over 60 never even consider monitoring it. This is where the magic happens. I gave Robert one simple instruction: consume just one Brazil nut daily. No complex protocols, no expensive supplements, just one nut. 3 weeks later, he returned to my office completely transformed. His face was brighter, his posture more confident, and he leaned forward with a smile saying, "Dr. Marcus, I don't know what's in that little nut, but I feel alive again." His mental clarity had returned, and his energy levels were noticeably improved. That's the remarkable power of Brazil nuts. They contain the highest natural concentration of selenium found anywhere on Earth. A single nut provides over 130% of your daily selenium requirements. What makes this even more valuable is that the selenium in Brazil nuts is bound to organic compounds, making it significantly more bioavailable to your aging body than synthetic supplements. Selenium is absolutely critical for thyroid hormone production, which controls everything from your mood and memory to your metabolism and energy levels. As we age, thyroid function naturally declines, leading to weight gain, cold extremities, persistent fatigue, and loss of that youthful vitality. Selenium supports optimal thyroid function from within. Here's what most men don't realize. Selenium is essential for testosterone production. Low testosterone doesn't just affect libido. It impacts muscle strength, sleep quality, motivation, and even mental clarity. Brazil nuts gently support your body's natural ability to produce and regulate this vital hormone safely and effectively. But what truly sets this nut apart is its ability to protect your nervous system. The healthy fats in Brazil nuts help maintain the myelin sheath, the protective covering around your nerves that keeps your reflexes sharp and your movements fluid. Without adequate myelin, we think and move more slowly, gradually losing connection with the body we once knew so intimately. Preserving myelin integrity is one of the most important things you can do as you age, and Brazil nuts directly support this process. Important warning: more is not better with Brazil nuts. Too much selenium over time can become toxic. I recommend no more than 1 to 2 Brazil nuts daily. Chew them thoroughly and store them in the refrigerator, preferably in their shells. It's a simple ritual with profound returns. 2. Almonds, your bone and brain protection system. There's something deeply comforting about almonds. Perhaps it's their familiar crunch or the subtle sweetness that lingers after each bite. Almonds remind me of my grandfather, who would sit by his kitchen window each morning with a small bowl of raw almonds and warm tea. He never missed a day, always saying, "These little things keep my mind sharp, son." At the time, I didn't fully grasp the science behind his routine, but after decades of studying aging and nutrition, I now understand he was absolutely right. Almonds are one of the most underappreciated yet powerful allies for senior health. They're not just a snack. They function as a daily defense system for your brain and bones, two of the most vulnerable areas as your body ages. Let's address your bones first. After age 60, bone density begins declining significantly, especially after 65. Falls become more dangerous, fractures take longer to heal, and even minor accidents can result in months of recovery. 1/4 cup of almonds contains nearly 100 milligrams of calcium. But what makes them special is their magnesium content. Magnesium acts like a traffic controller for calcium. Instead of allowing it to accumulate in your arteries where it causes problems, magnesium helps direct calcium into your bones where it belongs. Finding both calcium and magnesium in a single food source is relatively rare, making almonds exceptionally valuable. Now let's discuss your brain. Every year, I see more patients who fear memory loss more than heart disease, and for good reason. Dementia, Alzheimer's, and cognitive fog don't just steal your thoughts, they rob you of your independence and dignity. Almonds are rich in antioxidants, particularly when consumed with their skins intact. The flavonoids in that thin brown skin, combined with vitamin E, help combat the oxidative stress that ages brain cells. Research from Tufts University suggests that regular almond consumption may actually slow the rate of cognitive decline. Additionally, with approximately 3.5 grams of fiber per serving, almonds help constipation, a daily struggle that nearly half of all seniors endure silently. While it may not sound glamorous, regularity profoundly affects your mood and energy levels. I typically recommend 15 to 20 almonds daily, always chewed thoroughly, unsalted, and either raw or dry roasted. This is particularly important for seniors who may have dental issues or swallowing difficulties. Take your time and make it a mindful practice. 3. Walnuts, the brain's preferred fuel. I'll always remember a poignant moment with Harold, a 70-year-old retired music teacher who had recently lost his wife. Along with grieving, he was struggling with memory issues, losing keys, forgetting names, and sometimes becoming confused while driving familiar routes. During a visit to his home, he showed me a small glass jar from his kitchen cabinet filled with walnuts. "I read somewhere that these are good for the brain," he said, looking at me hopefully, "and they even look like a brain." That observation stayed with me, not just because it was accurate, but because Harold was quietly, determinedly trying to protect himself, and science supports his instinct. Walnuts are extraordinary. They're not merely a snack. They're among nature's most powerful brain-nourishing foods. Yes, they physically resemble the brain, but their impact goes much deeper, at the molecular level. Walnuts are exceptionally rich in alpha-linolenic acid, a plant-based omega-3 fatty acid that helps build and maintain brain cell membranes. As we age, these membranes become less flexible, neural communication slows, and memory becomes fuzzy. ALA helps maintain the integrity of these crucial connections. Walnuts are also loaded with polyphenols, powerful antioxidants that cross the blood-brain barrier and directly reduce inflammation in neural tissue. This is crucial because inflammation is a silent destroyer of cognition, memory, and focus, and it's one of the primary drivers of Alzheimer's and dementia. Unlike many other foods, walnuts address inflammation at its source. A study published in the Journal of Nutrition found that seniors who consumed just 1.5 ounces of walnuts daily for 8 weeks showed measurable improvements in cognitive flexibility and processing speed. These aren't abstract numbers. That's the difference between remembering an important date, catching a loved one's joke, or following a conversation. Most people don't know that walnuts naturally contain melatonin, the hormone your body uses to regulate sleep. As we age, melatonin production declines, leading to insomnia and slower recovery. Many of my senior patients find that adding a small handful of walnuts to their evening routine helps them fall asleep faster and wake up more refreshed. I typically recommend 7 to 9 walnut halves daily. Store them in the refrigerator to preserve their delicate oils, which can become rancid when exposed to heat or light. Don't worry about the slight bitterness of the skin. That's where many of the beneficial antioxidants reside. 4. Pistachios, your triple defense against blood pressure, vision loss, and diabetes. When I was young, my grandfather kept an old wooden bowl on his kitchen counter. Each evening, he would sit in his favorite chair and crack open pistachios one by one. Back then, I thought it was just an old man's quiet habit. Now, with our current understanding of aging and nutrition, I realize he was being incredibly wise. Without knowing the science, he was protecting his eyesight, managing his blood pressure, and supporting his blood sugar control. That bowl of pistachios wasn't just a snack, it was a daily dose of protection. Pistachios are undoubtedly one of the most undervalued superfoods for seniors. They're often overshadowed by flashier options, but their functionality more than compensates for their lack of fame. First, they're among the most potassium-rich nuts available, with about 285 milligrams per serving, more than many fruits and vegetables. Potassium is crucial for maintaining healthy blood pressure, especially after 60, when salt sensitivity and arterial stiffness tend to increase. Pistachios serve as a smart, natural ally for seniors trying to manage hypertension organically. They're also rich in lutein and zeaxanthin, two powerful carotenoids essential for eye health. These compounds accumulate in the retina and help filter harmful blue light, slowing age-related macular degeneration. This is no small matter. Vision loss is one of the most feared conditions among seniors, and pistachios provide gentle, consistent support to keep your world bright and clear. Most importantly, pistachios offer surprising benefits for blood sugar management. Their naturally low glycemic index and approximately 3 grams of fiber per ounce help stabilize insulin levels, slow digestion, and reduce post-meal sugar spikes. For the millions of seniors dealing with diabetes or prediabetes, a small daily addition of pistachios can make a significant difference, especially when substituted for processed, sugary snacks. There's also a behavioral advantage worth noting. Eating pistachios in their shells naturally slows your consumption pace, giving your body time to register fullness and preventing overeating. The empty shells serve as a visual cue, helping you monitor intake without measuring cups or calorie counting, transforming snacking into a mindful, meditative practice. I usually recommend 49 pistachios, about 1 ounce, daily, preferably unsalted or lightly salted. If you have arthritis or hand weakness, look for naturally half-open shells to make cracking easier. The 4 dangerous nuts to avoid after 60. Now here's the concerning part. While these 4 nuts can enhance your health beyond 60, there are others that can quietly undermine it. Nuts that appear harmless, even healthy, but can trigger inflammation, elevate blood pressure, interfere with medications, and cause brain fog. 1. Peanuts, the hidden inflammation time bomb. I'll never forget when George walked into my office, a proud 72-year-old Vietnam veteran who took pride in staying active. But lately, something felt wrong. Despite no major lifestyle changes, he was constantly tired. His joints ached more than usual, and his blood pressure had been creeping upward. As we discussed his daily routine, one thing stood out. He snacked on peanuts almost every day. "They're healthy, right?" he asked. That moment reminded me how much confusion still surrounds foods we take for granted, especially peanuts. Here's the truth. Peanuts aren't actually nuts. They're legumes that grow underground, and this makes all the difference. Due to how they're cultivated, peanuts are particularly susceptible to mold and a toxin called aflatoxin. This mold is invisible, odorless, and tasteless, but it can accumulate in your body over time, damaging your liver, compromising your immune system, and even increasing certain cancer risks. Seniors are especially vulnerable to these hidden toxins because their natural detoxification processes decline with age. But that's not the only problem. Peanuts can trigger inflammatory reactions in many people, even without a true allergy. It's a subtle, chronic inflammation that affects your heart, joints, and sometimes your brain. This type of inflammation isn't loud or obvious. It builds slowly and silently, creating cardiovascular stress, mental fog, and arthritis flare-ups. Most people don't realize that peanuts can worsen the stiffness and fatigue that seniors already experience naturally. Then there's the salt factor. Most commercial peanuts are roasted and often heavily salted. This extra sodium compounds the problem for seniors managing high blood pressure, which affects over 60% of people over 65. Even natural peanut butter isn't exempt. Peanuts are high in omega-6 fatty acids, which can disrupt your body's delicate omega-3 to omega-6 balance, crucial for controlling inflammation. That imbalance alone can impair circulation, reduce cognitive function, and diminish overall resilience in aging bodies. For seniors taking blood thinners or other medications, compounds in peanuts, particularly vitamin K, can interfere with absorption, making medication management even more challenging. A few years ago, I treated a vibrant 70-year-old woman named Linda who loved baking treats for her grandchildren. After she complained of fatigue, digestive discomfort, and sudden blood sugar spikes, we examined her eating habits. To my surprise, cashews appeared frequently in her meals, smoothies, and even the supposedly healthy granola bars she kept in her purse. "They're healthy, aren't they?" she asked hopefully. That moment reminded me how well-intentioned choices can backfire as we age. Cashews are tricky. They're often featured in health food stores and have a mild flavor and creamy texture that makes them seem like a nutritious choice. However, cashews harbor hidden dangers that most people, particularly seniors, aren't aware of. Let's start with blood sugar. Cashews have a relatively high carbohydrate content for a nut, about 9 grams per ounce, and a significant glycemic impact. This means they can cause a faster than expected rise in blood sugar. For the 48% of seniors who are pre-diabetic and the 25% who already have diabetes, these small spikes accumulate over time. Cashews are also high in oxalates, which bind with calcium in your intestines, making it harder for your body to absorb this vital mineral. This becomes problematic for seniors already at higher risk for osteoporosis and calcium deficiency. Worse, oxalates can accumulate in the body and contribute to kidney stone formation, a painful condition that becomes more dangerous with age. There's another concern many people don't know about, especially for seniors with swallowing difficulties. Cashews are smooth and curved, making them surprisingly easy to aspirate accidentally. They're actually among the nuts that cause the most choking incidents. Finally, there's the processing issue. Most people don't realize that raw cashews are toxic. They contain the same compound found in poison ivy. They must undergo extensive processing, heating, steaming, and stripping to make them safe. But this process strips away many of their natural nutrients, leaving behind a tasty nut that provides minimal health benefits and sometimes causes harm. 3. Macadamia nuts, the silent weight gainer. I once treated Carl, a retired engineer in his late 60s who was methodical with his routines, sharp-minded, and had a great sense of humor. However, over several months, Carl began gaining weight slowly and silently. He often felt sluggish after meals, and his blood pressure was gradually increasing. "Well, Dr. Marcus, I don't eat much junk, but I do treat myself to a few macadamia nuts each evening," he said with a chuckle when we reviewed his diet. "They're heart-healthy, right?" The macadamia nut is a luxury item. With their smooth texture and rich, buttery flavor, they seem like the perfect healthy indulgence. That's exactly how they're often marketed, especially in upscale health food circles. But most people don't realize that macadamias pack an enormous amount of fat and calories into each bite, especially problematic as we age. Just 1 ounce, barely a handful, contains about 200 calories and 22 grams of fat. For someone over 60 whose metabolism has naturally slowed and who may be less active, that adds up quickly. You're consuming the equivalent of a small meal in calories without feeling satisfied. But weight isn't the only concern. Macadamias have one of the highest saturated fat contents of any nut, nearly 3 grams per ounce. This type of fat can raise LDL, bad cholesterol, and put additional strain on an aging heart. For seniors already managing blood pressure or cholesterol issues, this type of fat can quietly undermine your progress. Then there's the gallbladder concern. Many seniors develop gallstones without realizing it, experiencing occasional bloating or discomfort after meals. Due to their high fat content, macadamia nuts can trigger these stones to move, causing excruciating episodes that may require emergency room visits or surgery. Don't overlook dental health either. Macadamia nuts are hard and dense. For seniors with crowns, bridges, or sensitive teeth, chewing them can be risky. I've seen people damage dental work on these nuts, leading to expensive and uncomfortable procedures. 4. Pine nuts, the medication disruptor. Ruth was a thoughtful 74-year-old patient who was careful about her health. She loved experimenting with new recipes, walked daily, and meticulously tracked her medications. One day, she came to my office with a worried expression. "Everything tastes metallic, Dr. Marcus," she said. "Even water tastes awful. It's been going on for weeks." We initially investigated medications, digestion, and hydration, but nothing stood out. Then she mentioned a recent addition to her diet, homemade pesto with pine nuts. Everything clicked into place. Despite their small size, pine nuts can cause surprisingly serious problems for seniors. Ruth was experiencing pine mouth, a taste distortion that causes a bitter, metallic taste that can last days or weeks after consuming certain types of pine nuts. While not dangerous in itself, here's the hidden problem. When food and water suddenly taste terrible, many seniors unconsciously eat and drink less. For someone already at risk of unintentional weight loss or dehydration, this seemingly minor side effect can lead to serious consequences: nutritional deficiencies, hospitalizations, and frailty. But pine nuts aren't just about taste issues. One major concern is their potential to interact with common medications. Certain compounds in pine nuts can alter how medications are metabolized in the liver, particularly blood pressure, cholesterol, and mood medications, among the most commonly prescribed for seniors. The risk is reduced effectiveness or unexpected side effects. And because many doctors still don't fully understand this interaction, most seniors are never warned about it. There's also the inflammation problem. Pine nuts contain polyunsaturated fats that are delicate and prone to oxidation, especially if improperly stored or left on shelves too long. When oxidized, these fats can promote inflammation rather than reduce it. Another concern I've encountered multiple times with older patients is aspiration risk. Pine nuts are small, slippery, and can easily be inhaled accidentally, especially by those on medications that cause dry mouth, incredibly common after 60. Final message: transformation is possible at any age. When I reflect on decades of sitting across from men and women in their 60s, 70s, and even 80s, I've realized something powerful. Aging doesn't break us down. It's the small habits, repeated over time, that either build us up or quietly wear us down. Food, especially something as seemingly innocent as a handful of nuts, is often at the center of that story. Today, we've discussed 8 nuts. 4 that I genuinely believe every senior should consume daily: Brazil nuts, almonds, walnuts, and pistachios. Not because they're trendy or sold in fancy health aisles, but because they work. They support your thyroid and testosterone, strengthen your bones and brain, improve your sleep, protect your heart, and help you regain control of your health. Then we examined 4 others: peanuts, cashews, macadamias, and pine nuts that are quietly doing the opposite, causing inflammation, disrupting medications, spiking blood sugar, contributing to unwanted weight changes. Most are marketed as healthy or at least harmless, but after 60, your body changes. What once energized you might now leave you sluggish. I want to say something clearly. You are not broken. You're not too old. Your health is not a lost cause. The body you wake up in today is still listening, still changing, and still responds, sometimes in incredible ways, to the small, consistent choices you make. I've witnessed the man who swapped peanuts for pistachios and lowered his blood pressure without adding medication. The woman who ate 1 Brazil nut daily and felt her energy return. The couple who started snacking on walnuts in the evening and began sleeping through the night for the first time in months. These aren't miracles, they're biology. They're your body doing what it's designed to do when you provide the right fuel. As you enter your kitchen tomorrow morning or pass the snack aisle this week, pause. Remember what you've learned here. Choose wisely. You don't need perfection or dramatic changes overnight, but choose one thing and keep choosing it. That's how transformation begins. This isn't just about medical numbers or lab results. It's about waking up feeling steady, remembering important details, having energy to walk, laugh, and connect with loved ones. It's about staying engaged in life, physically, mentally, emotionally, and intimately. I'm Dr. Marcus, and I want you to remember this. You're never too old to feel strong again. You're not too far gone to reclaim your energy, clarity, and confidence. You just need to give your body the right things and it will meet you more than halfway. Start with the nuts. Let that be your first signal to your body and yourself that you're ready to thrive again. If this information has opened your eyes to the truth about nutrition after 60, I need you to do 3 things right now. First, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. I'm committed to exposing more health myths that are holding seniors back. Second, give this video a thumbs up if it's changed how you think about the food in your pantry. And third, share this with someone you care about who's over 60. They deserve to know this information too. Your health journey doesn't end at 60, it transforms. Make sure you're equipped with the truth to make it extraordinary.